to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everyone to the May business meeting of the Madison Township Board of Trustees. Roll call, please.
Mr. McGuire.
Present.
Mr. Willoughby.
Yes.
Mr. Terrell.
Present.
Mr. Reynolds.
Present.
So for item number 3, the minutes are in draft, but I didn't get them out to everybody, so you can just push that to the next meeting. I'll have April's and May's at the next meeting.
Okay. Item 4, public comments. First one we'll go with is Pat Burgess of Southwest Ohio Computer Associates. SWOCA.
Well, how are you today?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to thank you guys for the opportunity for this introduction. I guess we stand here. My name is Pat Burgess. I'm representing the Southwest Ohio Computer Association, Council of the Governments, otherwise known as SWOCA. For those who aren't familiar with SWOCA, in 1979, the state of Ohio created 18 different information technology centers to serve our public K-12 districts, back-end compute services. And for over 30 years, SWOCA has been doing that for mostly Preble, Warren, and Butler counties, but we also have a presence in the adjacent counties as well. Those services today, they've changed a lot, but today those services look like internet, managed firewall, managed wireless, managed networks, dial tone. We run the fiscal and student software that grades are entered into and how bills are paid. We provide training for all of it. We also do things like disaster recovery services, virtual servers, co-location hosting, whatever it is the schools cannot do for themselves. As a Council of Governments, we are owned literally by our school districts. And we're pretty proud of what we do there. Our building is located at Butler Tech's D. Russell Lee campus. And in there we have a Tier 3 data center. We also have a disaster recovery site at the State of Ohio Computer Center in Columbus. We have 3 different internet providers, Alta Fiber, Spectrum, and Ornet, the state's public network. Through there we pump about 120 gigabytes worth of traffic capacity on any given day. In 2018, through various initiatives, the information technology centers, realizing that we are Council of Governments, started to branch out into municipalities. To that end, we started building fiber, either leasing it through existing fiber from different municipalities or building it with private partnerships. The closest point of our network to your location is One Dome Plaza. That's pretty close. I don't know if you guys are in the market, but we're knocking all the doors. Yeah, there's breaking nerves. I see that you have a. Oh, that's right. So. We provide internet service for the City of Hamilton, City of Middletown, City of Springboro. We also offer turnkey services for Fairfield Township and the Mental Health Recovery Board services for Warren and Clinton counties, which means we do everything. Desktop support on up. Now, if you're not in the market for that, we're not necessarily selling, but we want you to know that we are available for anything. We're a public entity providing trusted IT solutions for a very long time. Lots of times our districts come to us with different proposals. They just wanted us to look at it. Is there anything we haven't thought about? Does the price look right, et cetera, and so forth. Whatever it is you need, please feel free to call us. Our numbers are there. Whatever it is, and we'll always be there. The ITCs are an interesting thing in the state of Ohio. There isn't another public, regionally dispersed mechanism for delivering public IT services to public entities. But lo and behold, we are one. So if you have any interest in that, or if you want to, we don't do fiber to the home, but if you're interested in building fiber out to the township and connecting the buildings, or if you have any other kind of compute, backup, disaster recovery planning, cybersecurity concerns, please let us know and give us a call. We'll be there to help you. That's it. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other things that the public wants to bring to, anybody have anything want to bring before the board? Okay.
I can quickly share the,
Go ahead.
the Butler County Pond Clinic went well 2 weeks ago. So I hosted I teamed up with Butler County Soil and Water Conservation, Brady Smith and those guys. And so we had several people from the township. I think there was about 23 plus the state, Ohio State University professor who came down and did the clinic for us along with Butler County. So it worked out good. So we'll see if we can do it again next year.
Thank you, Brian. All right, let's, presentation of reports, fiscal officer.
So I have something, and I should have maybe asked Dave to put it on the agenda, but I'll bring it up now. So this is something that comes to the fiscal officer, because everything comes to the fiscal officer, that I don't know anything about, and that I am now handing off to the trustees to handle. It's important. It needs to be done right away. There's very specific instructions, 2 different colors of pencils, note cards, the whole thing. It is a boundary survey required by the Census Bureau. The annexation of the properties in Trenton, this is important. Carvana, this is important. Okay? And this is not my area of expertise. I don't know anything about it. And I can't take on any additional new duties. This is, so this needs to, and there's an envelope to send it back to them, FedEx, and all of that. So, awesome.
We'll be here next
Because
week.
they had sent it to me in an email, and literally opened the email, and I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. So I asked them to send it to me in a map form where you guys could take a look at it on the map. So,
Okay.
awesome. As far as our receipts and expenditures, they are as we expect them to be. So, you know, at this point in the year, I know that Mr. Daniels has some news, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm not trying to steal his thunder, but we do have some requirements that go along with his news, and so I'll wait and share that after he shares his. Unless you guys have questions about the end of the month reports. Okay.
Okay, I hear a motion to accept the fiscal officer's report. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Fire department.
You have in front of you the stats from April of this year. First page here shows fire calls, total of 20 fire calls for the fire department, which is a low month for us, which I'm not complaining. The second page details the type of calls: 3 structure fires, 2 motor vehicle fires, and 3 accidents with injuries. Those locations on the fire calls: Morgenthaler Road, structure fire, mutual aid; Twinview Drive in Carlisle, structure fire, mutual aid; State Road 503 in Preble County, structure fire, mutual aid. And then we had 2 vehicle fires in our township: 6400 block of Trenton Franklin and the 6500 block of Franklin Madison. Crash locations: West Alex and Dickey, 5500 Trenton Road and 6400 block of Howe Road was our crash locations. The third page shows the locations as far as zones for our fire calls: 5 in the south zone, 5 in the north zone, 5 in the middle. 1 to Middletown, 1 to Trenton, 2 to Wayne Township, 1 Warren County. Next page shows EMS calls. EMS calls for April: 72 calls, 41 patient transported, 31 non, and mutual aid 1 time in the city of Trenton. The zone locations for the EMS calls, 38 in the north, 19 in the middle, and 14 in the south. Any questions on the stats? Training. Last month we had, Dave had CareFlight come in, Chief Reynolds had CareFlight come in with the training with them. This month, Chief Reynolds, just last night, had an excellent training put together. We had 2 career firefighters put on a training called Nozzle Forward, and it was an excellent training, especially for me. An update training on how to manage your nozzle, how to move forward with a 1.5-inch line, 1.75-inch line. Everybody enjoyed it. Everybody got a wealth of education on that training last night. June, Chief Reynolds has extrication scheduled for us up in Postown. We can always use good extrication with the kind of crash calls we have here in the township. Safety checks, Tom Knight just started doing our safety checks yesterday, and I believe they are completed. And he's highlighted some areas that need to be touched with a couple apparatus, and we're on that this week as far as repairs. Chief Reynolds and his crew attended a bomb detail today on Woodsdale. That's where Captain Grimes, I call him Captain Grimes, comes with the bomb squad. They bring out the FBI, they bring out ATF, they bring out all those people. They blow up cars, and then we go out and put them out. So it's a good time for us as far as an attraction and get a little adrenaline surge for the fire there. FDIC, there was a couple chiefs, some firemen attended FDIC, took some training courses there through the week. We also looked at some apparatus and some equipment. And hopefully we'll be moving forward here real soon with some committee meetings as far as new trucks and the possibility of a new structure, new building here in the near future. In June, there's this architect company called APP Architect. They're the ones that are putting together the Carlisle Gym station, and they're also doing the Middletown stations. They would like to schedule a meeting to come in to meet with the trustees and fire personnel to talk about what they offer and what they have. So it'll be a date sometime in June. I'll try to get a couple dates.
Just let us know, yeah.
And see what works for best for everybody.
Yeah, the first week of June I won't be here though.
Gotcha.
I'm on vacation.
They're gonna come separate from the regular meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We took delivery of the new squad just a couple weeks ago. I just talked to Todd tonight. We're going to be working on putting the old squad on gov deals here real soon. See what kind of price we can get back on the old squad. And that's all I have.
Anybody got any questions? Good. Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Road Department.
Welcome back, Mr. Terrell.
Thank you. Glad to have you.
I'll go through a few things, and then we can, if you want to discuss that, we can. As far as roads go, Zach just started last week on the roadside mowing, so he's already halfway through the township. Hoping to complete in about the next week and a half. Sign, we're going to talk about that, item G. We had a surprise visit from the Ohio Department of Agriculture last week. They come in and they check our daily record sheets, spray sheets. Basically, it's a document with a tremendous amount of information on it each time we go out and spray different things throughout the township. So they stop in periodically, and we had a good clean inspection on that. That is so the picture up there is the 122 Elk Creek roundabout, and Stephanie, Representative ODOT, she's in the design group, I believe. She had sent out an email. She sent it out about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and she was asking for feedback. And so basically the roundabout that they're proposing for us, this is what the kind of the finished look of what it's going to look like. It's just called a simple landscape plan. And she explained to me that if we want to do anything beyond that, grass, flowers, any kind of thing like that, then we will have to take responsibility for that. But if we're happy with that, then ODOT would, be glad to maintain that for us.
Okay, ODOT, my question was, will ODOT maintain it, or do we have to maintain it?
My understanding was, if we upgrade, we maintain. If we leave it like that, we do not maintain it.
Yeah, we should let them maintain it.
I agree. That is a state and a county intersection.
Yeah.
We have no interest in that, except for it's in our township.
Yeah.
So that's, where was that at? Somewhere up north, I believe.
It's in Perrysburg.
Yeah, it's
Perrysburg,
way
yeah.
up
Yeah,
Yeah, near the, so that's actually very nice.
When's that project start?
I think it's next summer.
Next summer.
She sent out a set of drawings. That was from the set of drawings. The set of drawings said not for construction, but looked pretty complete. You know, they had all the elevations fixed. Now, I don't think they've contacted anybody about property or anything.
No, they haven't. All they did was send us a letter about the possibility of losing trees in the front yard. And they would pay the residents for the trees if you lost any.
I'd say they're moving pretty quick on that project.
And my understanding was they were gonna, they coordinated with the bridge. Once the bridge was done, they were gonna start off next year.
Yep.
So I think it shut anything
No.
else down that
Well,
way.
I was telling you, he'd be walked in, but
That area's been so blocked up anyway.
Oh, yeah.
well, my understanding, the last schedule they showed, they had a schedule. The first schedule they had out was it was going to be complete chaos because like the north side is going to be shutting down the entire project, then the south side would be through this period, and then open again and closed again, and then but the last thing I saw, they said they're going to close the entire section for 180 days, get it done, and then open back up.
Mhm.
I thought that would probably be the simplest thing because else you're going to have a calendar and a schedule and everything else to figure out how to go through that intersection.
And then now that's gonna be near the time that they're gonna be working on the bridge too, right?
Sort of, yes.
Yeah.
For
The
the
I'm not
122
sure.
bridge
They're
in the
doing-
middle
this
town.
is bridge work on 122, between us and Middletown.
Is the state's doing that too, right?
Yeah, you know, actually, I'm sure they're aware of that, but I can send her an email tomorrow just to make sure she's aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, their detour was
She
clear.
should be.
I think it was Route 4 up through like Germantown. So it was the only thing I told them was that you need to have some very big and clear signs to make sure the semi-traffic knows you cannot get through there.
Right.
Because, well,
There's a lot, right now, there's a lot of semi-traffic through there right now.
Yeah.
It's not just the truck hauler, it's the regular box semis.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, they're going down Elk Creek Road all day long.
Hmm.
Well, that'll slow them down.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah, it will.
So that's kind of that. So I will, so we're happy with that?
yeah, I'm.
Okay.
I don't think we wanna put something there, we're just gonna take care of it.
Yeah. Liability is too much. Okay, I will reach back out to her, let her know tomorrow. So as far as the park goes, there's been a lot of chatter in the last couple of months about the playground equipment and whatnot, and we had submitted, the trustees in good faith put $25,000 in the park account several months back. And then good faith, and so then we went forward with the application to the Middletown Community Foundation, and they granted us the scholarship. So we didn't think that we would get the full amount, but we did. We got the full 25,000. So was notified last week, and there are some requirements, as Amy said, with that. And there's also some paperwork. Did we get that signed?
We did.
Okay, I figured you did.
Yeah, I took care of that.
Okay. So, just the next step forward, and I know that's in our discussion, and we'll talk about that later on in down the road, but I'd just like to thank the Middletown Community Foundation and whatever input any of you had, or the community, to the people that are on that board, because we know a lot of these people, and just grateful that they gave it to us.
We probably should send a letter to them to thank them.
Yep, and I'll personally call them.
Okay.
And thanks for you did a lot of work on it.
Yeah.
It's no problem. So, happy to do it. So, and then lastly, the cemetery has been extremely busy. Over 50% of our time in the last month has been to the cemetery. It's been unbelievable. No road work this month. We've had probably 5 barrels in 12 days. We got the foundations all in from Memorial Day. We did that last week. We put in 2 veterans markers, several deed transfers, multiple grave sales. We have another funeral tomorrow. So we've been really busy, but we got everything in pretty good shape. And then of course we're gearing up next week for Memorial Day weekend. That is the biggest week for us for the cemeteries, and we're just going to hit them hard next week. And hopefully the weather's agreeable, and we'll have things looking good. And just kind of waiting too on the Boy Scouts to reach out again. They always help us out with the flags. So haven't heard from them. So that's really all I have.
Any questions?
So, just wanna point out whether we get started, of course, I'd like to see us get started tomorrow on the playground. But we have to submit a grant evaluation form online, within 12 months from the date of the award. We won't be eligible again if we don't do that. And they've been very good to us over the years. The shelters
Yes.
out here on the park were built with Community Foundation dollars. Now, of course, our road department went above and beyond, and they got the money and they made they did beautiful work, and I mean they went up, they made them great, right? But the money came from the Community Foundation. If the total funding received from all sources for this project exceed the project costs, then the amount in excess must be returned to us proportionate to the percentage of the funding provided by Middletown Community Foundation. Okay? So, if we don't spend all the money that we put aside for this project, which is 50, then we gotta proportionally send money back to the Community Foundation.
I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
So,
It's not gonna be an issue.
Okay.
Not at all.
all right, so.
$49,999.
Well, I'm
Or
just,
50/50/01.
I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page, that,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
requirements for this grant are,
Yeah.
When was it we had to have the evaluation form back?
within 12 months.
And I will take care of that if we, I thought we'd discuss it more later, but if we can get this thing done before the end of the year, then
Right.
I'll go ahead and do the evaluation.
Right, and like I say, that's my intention as well, is to
Yeah.
get these things turned around,
Yeah,
back in
absolutely.
and done as quickly as possible, so that there's no loose ends. So,
Todd, will one of those quotes ever send, didn't you say it would take 4 to 7 months to get the stuff?
They're all, at the earliest, we're looking at 6 months.
Wow.
5 to 6 months,
Yeah.
the quickest, that you're gonna get. If we order today and it comes in. Yep. Again, the reason is ARPA. There's so much money out there, and these parks and recreational across the country, they're buying stuff at record pace. It's the same thing we've been dealing with, but not quite as bad in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think that's why there were so many vendors there at the OTA show.
Probably.
There were so many.
yeah, nobody's ever had money before, I mean, don't doubt it, so.
But, I mean,
But anyway, this,
Yes, ma'am.
from the Community Foundation, they only had $142,000 to give out.
Oh, wow. So we got a big chunk of it. then.
Yes. So, our friends and neighbors at the Community Foundation were very generous to us. I'm
great.
very grateful.
We need to get on that, soon. So, with the process of getting that, ordering the playground equipment, did you send out the quotes to everybody? You guys all have
I copied all of you.
get a good look at them? Did you get a look at them?
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't overwhelming.
No. I think we just need to figure out what we're gonna put out there. I think, there was a couple that were a little bit over our budget. I don't know if we wanna consider those or not,
Yeah.
but I think we can get, from what we had there, I think we can get a good piece.
Those are all nice pieces. I
Yeah.
don't think you go wrong with any of them. It's really what what did the 6 to 12-year-olds want, or
Yeah.
3 to 12, you know, I don't know, I don't know that answer.
Yeah.
So, as soon as you let me know, I'll hit it running.
Can you guys send your preferences into him? And, that way, you know, I'm trying to think how we can do this. We're gonna have to have a meeting.
We're gonna meet with the people about the park on
Park
Saturday.
board.
Yeah, that's true.
We could talk about it during that meeting, get you. a
Let's do
recommendation.
that. Maybe we can make a decision then. Okay? Everybody good with that? Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
And if you need a purchase order or something, just shoot me an email.
Okay.
Okay, old business, item 6, item A, ARPA funds available for the fire department.
I just wanted to bring that up. There's been some discussion in the past meetings over the last several months about the ARPA with the, involving the Rescue 151.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever made any motion to that effect.
I thought we did.
Yeah,
I thought we did, we're gonna.
I don't know if
Remainder.
is there a motion made, Amy?
Well, we've talked about it, so if we, and my memory's not that good.
Yeah.
By the time I write the minutes and when we talk about it, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure there's never been a motion made. There's always been a
So,
discussion.
we can certainly do that if that's what the board wants to do. So right now, there's $378,046.71. You have pledged in a motion $200,000 towards paving. That leaves $178,046.71 that I have in a line item for machinery, equipment, and furniture that was earmarked for to pay off the rescue pumper.
Yeah, I thought we had a motion that would do that.
So we did it by, you know, by appropriating it, but if you wanna make a motion, then that would put it to rest.
Yeah.
Did you remember that? I thought we did one already. I mean, we can do it again, I mean.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do it, just to take care of it, make sure. So, yeah, I make a motion to.
But we're gonna have to add it to the,
Make a motion to.
make a
add it
motion to
the
add
agenda-
it to the agenda.
The agenda to, add the remaining ARPA funds to fire department.
So that'd be item H.
Yes.
So add item H. And who moved, I'm sorry?
Jeff moved and John seconded.
All right, so to add item H, Mr. Willoughby,
Yes.
Mr. Terrell for voting,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes.
All right, so now we're gonna vote on the motion itself to spend $178,046.71 on paying off the E1 rescue pumper.
Yes.
So.
That was that for the rescue pumper or the?
Yeah, Rescue
Okay.
151.
All right.
For the people that don't know, again, thank you for that. The whole purpose of this, and Amy will know this, it helps save on the interest that we're saving on paying that off, approximately $25,000. So that's a savings for the fire department, so thank you.
Okay. So when we come back to, and we get to item H, that will be a motion to spend $178K to pay off the rescue pumper. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go to, new business. First item is authorize office manager to sign agreement with Energy Harbor for a 24-month, roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby.
Yes.
Mr. Terrell.
Yes.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes. I may approve the bills for this period. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby.
Yes.
Mr. Terrell.
Yes.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes. Item B, approve road check signs. We seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Oh, I'll get it to you. I'm thinking about the other sign, the spreadsheet.
You said.
I know, I forgot, I'm sorry. I got you.
So we just wanna take that, no, we're not gonna move on that, or we are gonna move on that, what are we doing?
We'll need to sign it on.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just need to sign it.
I get it. In the meeting.
So we got a motion and a second? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Item C, approve neutral law for nuisance ordinances, everybody else declined but neutral lawn, right? Or, Secretary?
The other ones that I called personally, and they did not even want to send a quote, they did not decline it. So,
Okay.
Neutral law, sent a quote estimate, like they've done in the past.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Item D, approve network cabinet in the DMARC room along with a sonic firewall, which was previously approved, for $3,042. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Item E, approve neutral lawn to remove vegetation at 7596 Darrell Drive. The letter was posted with no return call or action from the owner, as well as prior letters were sent in the past several months. And then they're still working on some plans for further letters to be sent in the second round of the old Linden's building in West Alexandria Road.
So we're removing those from those addresses, is that what we're doing?
I'm sorry.
We're removing the vegetation from those addresses? Cause F is we're going to send the letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still have to, even if the two of them, like, in order to send in the first letter, or even later on, even a certified letter, we have to just approve at a meeting. And then, from that, but, you know, got them ready, just waiting for your approval. And then there's a couple of them that are just, right now, the certified letter will go back out, but I gotta look into a couple of them before I bring it back up, because, of course, Old Linden's is a nightmare.
That's an ongoing nightmare. It's
Working
been
on it.
around for about a while, a long time.
It's just basically all about flooding their court system is what it's gonna boil down to, but maybe we still have some other choices and bring it to the, hopefully find out some answers.
Motion to approve.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Item F, approve letters to be sent to 5109 F Road and 7421 Keister Road for vegetation debris nuisance. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Item G, approve sign of welcome to Madison Township on Route 122.
I was trying to bring it up.
Sign check.
I got outvoted on that.
Badly.
I know you sent it to me. Well, I guess the question I have about it is, I think on our little motto we have, I think is place to work,
Live, work, and play,
live, work, and play. You know, do we want that on there?
whatever you want.
I just was.
No, that's fine. It's another part.
What? But I was just thinking, we wanted, I think, cause it says, I'm just trying to find it now.
I think it just has the welcome to Madison and our established, and then our, like this, basically it has that.
Well, it had two feathers, didn't it? I think it had two
There's,
feathers on it.
yeah, one has them on
That's-
each side, you can do one, two, hey, it's kinda like the play sets, whatever you want.
I just can't
We can, you know, if you, whatever you all like, we can make it happen.
I think it should be black and red like the fire truck.
This is the Pandora's box.
find it. You want the lights on it too, the flag?
This is Pandora's box.
Reflective strips, he wants it all. Rotating line on the top.
I know you sent it to me, I just can't find it.
Is it just one sign at one place, or? It's the, replace the one down there at the bottom of 122 Hill, did you see it right? Yeah, it's in your backyard.
Yeah, that one.
Hey, you want lights,
It's
lights
old
and flags
and
and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want all lights. Well, do they have any suggestions or anything on it as far as beyond, because I just saw the one that you sent.
So what I did was I gave him a business card, and I said, go to use your creative juices. And so he sent me back multiple ideas, and so, but he can do whatever's your pleasure.
I like that sign, the white with the black writing.
Put it on the website, let them vote.
Vote.
You could do
I
it.
was
Send
just
it in an
thinking,
email.
I was just suggesting that.
Here it
I said,
is.
guaranteed you're gonna have one person
You
say,
find
this
it?
is mine.
Yeah, I found it right here.
Trying to
The
find-
two feathers, she's right, it does have two feathers, one that he sent out had two feathers.
It looks like some kind of Roman
Yeah,
something,
I don't like the two feathers.
Nope,
I
thank
didn't,
you.
and I didn't even see the two feathers till you said that.
What date did he send it?
He sent it out on
Hold on, I'm trying to
Friday,
find
May
it.
the 5th, and then there's a black sign, nobody liked that but Kent. That we don't like, but nobody likes the two feathers.
Jeff, I think you're onto something when it comes to the community mantra though, you know,
Yeah.
that ability to make a connection with
That's
the
our,
community.
that's our, you know, our mission statement, it would maybe be nice to have that on there, but.
I mean, it's pointless for those who's traveling through, but maybe that would be a message to those who's traveling through too.
The other thing you have to consider, here's one thing to consider on the practical side. So you have a sign that is so many square inches. The more you put into it, the smaller the contents become and less legible at 50 mile an hour, 200 feet off the road. Because we've already had complaints about the state champion signs because they're illegible, because people are going, you know. So you need, just keep that in mind. Unless you wanna put an 8x8 sign,
But
then we
here's
can
what I'll-
put everything
you know
on there.
what? I'll just rescind it.
You're right though, you gotta be super intentional to hit
Oh,
the
yeah, you
brakes
do.
to see that sign, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to airdrop it, but I can't get connected to that TV.
You send it to me.
I'm sending it right now. I didn't think about that till you just said that. Getting slower and slower on the draw. There you go.
The other thing we're waiting, if we can decide on, you know, something like that, or, you know, about that size, 'cause that's kinda what we have. I was thinking, so we've got the wood posts in there now that you have to repaint, you know, every so often. But I was looking online, they've got some really nice vinyl posts, and with some nice acorns or some kind of little something on the top, so we could do something like that.
Yeah.
Kinda spruce it up a little bit, something a little easier to clean too.
Those vinyl ones are usually, you have a wood in,
Correct.
inside
Sleeve
of
it.
them because, yeah,
That's right.
we made those as we can.
Yeah,
My-
yeah.
my mind went there.
I did the tool.
Make a call.
Let me make it go. I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can. It's only been a year, so. Here we go.
That's the sign he was talking about. Now, that's why I was thinking we pipe, I'm not sure. You know, somehow work the motto into it.
I like that because it's really big and you can read it. Sure. It's really legible. That's what I like about it. I'd rather not put more stuff in there. Just me.
Can I put my 2 cents in?
Absolutely.
It says Madison Township twice. It just
At the
kind of
top.
seems repetitive.
If you're gonna put your logo someplace, you're gonna put it in the circle, the verbiage you want to put there.
Put it up here
So
somewhere.
the Madison Township be big, then the other stuff there. Get your point about the feathers looking like the Roman
Yeah.
crown thing, so.
Okay, so what's a couple things you'd like to see, a couple mock-ups?
Somehow work our little motto into this, I think.
Okay,
And one feather
lose it, one feather,
on the left side,
one on the
turn
left.
the other way.
Yeah.
It's this way instead of.
Like the one, the banner
Yeah,
was?
turn
Yeah.
this way.
That's how our feather goes.
Okay,
But I like the big.
Yeah, we wanna keep
I like the black writing on a white background. Somebody advised me
Just
to
leave
make
the
like a
Madison
campaign sign
Township
with
up in
that.
the top one and make established in the year bigger, so you could see them.
And you could put, well, you could do that established down here at the bottom, so now, maybe the feather on the side, I'm not sure. Be a big feather.
I like the idea of that right there.
Yeah, you wanna keep, I think you wanna keep the text big, but.
So
Yeah,
it's
need
live,
a
work,
text
and play
big.
is what you're.
No,
what you
no, no.
I think it's a place to live, work, and play.
I think so, I think it's what it said. I looked at our website to remember, cause I was like, what does it say?
It's used pretty commonly throughout the United States, that particular language.
Is that enough,
Huh?
enough to get a second mock-up,
Okay,
you think?
so you like we're gonna stay with the white background, black letters.
Right.
We're gonna go one feather, turn the way we normally have it,
Yep.
and then we're gonna put place, live, work, and play above Madison Township.
Or could we drop the oval underneath Madison Township, put Madison Township at the top and this little oval name at the bottom?
Say that again.
So you see how the oval's at the top?
Hold on, I gotta redraw this.
And now just drop your oval to the bottom.
Okay.
A great place to live, work, and play. The oval will be at the bottom, Madison Township at the top with a feather.
Yeah,
And then your oval at the bottom, a great place to live, work,
so
and
the
play.
only thing in the oval is live, work, and
Great place to live, work, and play.
work and fish and hunt and
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah. Raise your family.
Mine's working, that's right.
You know,
Okay, well, so we'll do that as well.
that's just one idea.
Well, it's, yeah.
Now,
Anything else?
And a cost too.
$535.
Really? Can we give you,
$530.
well,
$430 if you don't do the little circle. That's an uncut sheet. If it's a cut sheet, it's $530.
what kind of material is it made of?
This is the same as what we have our street signs out of. It's a highly
All metal.
visible, reflective, prismatic.
And here's the thing,
Film.
you don't, I mean, we have appropriations
Yeah.
for repairs and maintenance, and it's not a, you don't have to make an appropriate, or you don't have to make a motion
yeah.
for something like this. This
Not
is
even
something that's,
$1,000.
you know, not even $1,000. If
Yeah.
you just wanna give him the authority to, you know, come up with a design and whatever, you can do that too. I mean, this is,
Are you trustee?
No.
I was saying-
I've learned, I've been around here long enough.
As I say, do you want the authority to do that?
Do you want me to ask my son if his girlfriend that went to school for graphic design could mock something up for you?
Well, we'll do
Yeah,
what we
let's
just
see.
discussed,
Yeah, let's see.
and
what
I'll
we
submit
can
it to the trustees, and then we'll go from there.
do. Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
The cost is very reasonable though.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
is,
is.
very.
And it'll last.
That's why I kinda like, let's do it, let's get the lettering in.
Not with price though.
Item
Not with
H,
price though.
something we added, motion to spend $178,000 to pay off the rescue pumper from ARPA funds. Is your motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Item 8, approve 3 new EMS personnel, Elizabeth Korb, EMTB, Austin 5 code. Did I say that right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Savannah Rutherford, pending paperwork approval.
2 of the 3, I believe, have been turned in. I'm still waiting on the 3rd.
Okay.
I have Savannah's, Austin's, and Elizabeth's.
So you have all 3? Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Seems like, have we had an uptick in EMT personnel or was it EMS?
We, the part-time and volunteer EMS and fire is always like, I explained to my EMS chief, it's like a roller coaster. You know, one month, 2 months, 3 months, we got plenty of people and the schedule's staying great, and then it just falls off, and you have to reach out, and it's just a constant moving train.
Are 2 of them cross-trained?
Yes, 2 of them are cross-trained, and
Good.
the 3rd one is currently in the
Good.
class to get
Good.
closer. Yep.
What we need. Your motion?
Yeah, motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Okay, on to discussion items. Jeff, you wanna talk about the National Township?
Oh, he's gonna talk about property taxes first.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
This is a very hot, contentious topic, and I don't like it either. But the Ohio Tax Commissioner came out with their recommendations, and Butler County and Claremont County actually got the highest 2 in the whole state. Claremont County is the highest. They wanted 43% increase, and Butler County, they actually wanted a 42% increase. And what that's based on, they based it on last year's property, what they saw the price increases from last year. Now, the Butler County Township Association, we had a meeting about this, and all the reps were there, and they talked about it, and the senator was there too. And they had a meeting with the tax commissioner and their staff, and they said they literally said they beat up on them as hard as they could because they weren't happy about this. And Thomas, I gotta give some kudos to Thomas. He's fighting hard on this, and he asked me. He said, "Look, why did you do it off of 1 year?" They said, "Well, we had to." He said, "No, you didn't. You could have did an average over 3 years," and they didn't even know that. So, you know, Thomas is working with them. They're trying to look at different means of. They're trying to lower people's taxes through different methods, other methods, because somebody said, well, we've worked them down to 39%. I'm like, that's good, but it's not, it's still 39% increase. And I asked, I said, I wanna make sure I understand this. I said, this is off your property evaluation. So if your evaluation is $100,000 today, next year it'll be $142,000. They said, that's correct. I was like, that is a massive increase on people's houses. The WCPO, I got the link there, they had a good story on it. They talked to Claremont County's auditor, and they also talked to Nancy Nix, Butler County's auditor, and gave a good explanation about it. They had a good news article on that. So I'm sure we're gonna hear more about it. It's starting to get more attention, because what they're doing is they're doing the state in thirds, and we're in that first third. A lot more of the senators, the discussions going off are getting involved. A lot more of the representatives are just getting a lot more attention up there. So, because more or less they don't want to happen to their constituents.
And I have a question on that, cause I also read farms, we're
Yes.
gonna go 110.
110%.
110% increase.
6,800 to
Is that
14,000.
Everybody that's CAUV or everybody,
Yeah.
okay, so that's me then.
And that's another thing they're fighting against. They said, you know, most farmers I talked to, they're like, we're not making money anyways. They said, you know, this is, they don't understand it at all.
So would it help if I call Thomas and Senator Lang?
Yeah. They're
working on it.
Yeah, supporting them, cause they,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, just
They're
another
working
names,
big.
more names that they could put
Yeah.
on their
From
list.
what I understand, the meeting was, at times pretty contentious. Because, and they pretty much told them, if you can't fix this, we'll fix it legislatively. So,
Senator Lang, when they found this out, he called me, he said, I want you in my office on the next Tuesday. And he had another senator, I forget the gentleman's name, but he said he was very knowledgeable of property taxes. And he had all the Butler County state reps in there. And that's when they had the meeting and went round and round with them. And surprisingly, the tax commissioner's kind of holding firm on their stance, which, like I said,
That's gonna make a lot of people lose their homes,
Have they given the why,
especially the fixed income.
the official why?
they said they increased that much.
But-
They said they were very,
But have they given the why, the official why as to why they're doing that? What are they trying to fund officially?
that I
Officially.
don't know.
I have my,
I know.
theories. I've heard, you've heard mine.
And I believe that. I'm
Yeah.
just curious if you heard anything.
I have not. The only thing they said
Generate
is
that much money.
the tax commissioner from Merle said we're gonna do it off a 1-year evaluation, or 1-year increase, and that's what that's what they wanna do. They said they were just very hard-nosed about it. But the other thing I went to was the National Township and Towns Association, which was very interesting. It was a 2-day event. It was very interesting though. We had a speaker from the Department of Transportation. They talked about the building.gov/rural site, and that is through the infrastructure bill. I forget how many $1 trillion infrastructure bill this was. But that site is specifically for rural townships and communities to have, to look at the different programs available. And there was 2 that I kinda looked at, and I thought we might be able to get into. One was a watershed infrastructure project. It's for, any kind of flooding projects. I know we've had, and what came to mind was what we had to do here. You know, this was from storm erosion. And, I know Mark, Whiteman was talking about on the road near him, washes out, that we might try to get some funding through that to try to take care of this. Also, they had another program through the USDA, and it was, community funds, direct loan and grants, that we might try to do something with the park. When you look at that grant, it actually, lists out different community, structures and such you can do. And my reading of it, I think we can get into it. I'm gonna try to get a clarification through, Warren Davidson's office to make sure, cause you can get, I think the maximum grant was $1 million. I was like, well, give us $1 million, we'll take it. The second, group that talked to us, it kinda ties in the presentation we had today, was from the CSIA, talking about cybersecurity, and that's the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Agency, which I've never heard of before. But they said that 50% of local governments will be attacked. Their sites, their infrastructure will be attacked by ransomware, different, trying to get people's credit card numbers or whatever information they can grab from it. And that was one of the things they said, is they said, go back and ask everyone, what's our cyber attack response plan? I was like, well, I have no idea.
The only thing that, and this is all good information, the only thing that is for us is we don't take water bills, we don't take utility payments, so we don't have anybody's credit card information. We don't accept any credit card payments for anything, even graves or anything, so we don't have anybody's information.
Which would be good.
Which is good, you know what I mean, but like I say, doesn't keep us from being, our security system being attacked, but we don't have anybody's personal, credit card information.
The worst thing I think would happen to us is they would take over our sites with ransomware.
Yes.
And say, give us $40,000 and we'll just hold on to it. And in that case, I think what we do is just say, okay, you can have that one and we'll create a
We'll
new
just
one.
do another one.
But one of the easiest defenses, they talked about, and I'm gonna try to talk to Thomas about this. They said if you get a .gov address, they said they take care of, that agency manages those. and it's very hard to attack at that point. So I was like, and when I looked at our county government, most of those were .org. There was a couple that were Butler County, .ohio.gov. And I'm like, well, okay, well, how can we tie into that? That's what I'm gonna try to talk to Thomas about. Second day. Second day, we got to talk to everybody's office. I seemed like I was the only person from Southern Ohio, so they gave me everybody to talk to. And I've sent out emails, following up emails to these, with each of the people's office, thanking them for their time and asking them for their support. There was 3 things we talked to them about, they wanted us to talk to them about. One was the Fire Station Act, which this act is specifically for building, modifying, and renovating fire stations. And I was like, we are all for this. And I gave them the whole story, how we have 3 fire stations in our township, and they've all got issues, we're trying to find a solution. The thing I did find out is if you give them numbers or figures or house bills, they will write that down, so I took that as a positive step. The next thing we talked to them about was broadband, how there was a lot of money allocated for it, but the state, the Broadband Ohio site is saying, yeah, it was allocated, but they haven't got it yet. So we encouraged them to push that money down. The last one was the Ship It Act, and they're wanting to increase the weight of trucks from 80,000 to 91,000. And we kind of told them we weren't in favor of that because of the damage and everything else it would do to our roads. Also, any kind of safety considerations around that. So that was my 2 days in Washington. It was good, but it was very, very quick at the same time.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah.
What do you feel like your greatest takeaway, biggest benefit from attending?
I was making contacts with the congressmen and the senator's offices. Now you at least got a name or somebody to talk to. Cause I've got a stack of their cards here now. So now I've got a name. And the other thing that was interesting about that was, I don't think we talked to anyone that was over 30. And I asked the lady from OTA that was with us, I said, is it just me or are all these people really young? She goes, yeah. She goes, usually, typically those jobs, or the people we're gonna talk to, are people that are out of college and they're in internships, or this is their first job and they're getting through this. They said, there are more senior people, but usually when you talk to them when there's a bill they're focusing on, they're trying to develop it. So, okay, interesting. It was very busy up there. They are in the midst of the whole budget thing. There was people everywhere. And of course, there's other lobbyist groups there. I mean, we were lobbying them to support the bills we were there for. But it was very well put on, and like I said, we talked to a lot of people. I was tired by the time that day was over.
You say, you don't know anything about the broadband coming into the township?
They are working on it. When we talked to Broadband Ohio the last time, they said they were waiting for this year's funding still. So.
Well, is that the money the government's giving them?
Yes.
Well, there was a truck and a guy come down, I live out on Diver Lane, he come down the lane a couple weeks ago. And I thought he was with the water department. I went out to ask him a question about that, and he said no, he was surveying for fiber optic.
Yeah.
For ultra fiber.
Yes. The county.
I asked him, he said they're gonna put it every place. He told me a year or 2, or maybe, he said something about 6 months. But see, we've been trying to get it down our lane forever, they want like $13,000 to run it down there now.
Yeah.
But with the government paying for all the cost of installing it, I figure ultra fiber's gonna jump on that, so they get more customer base.
Yeah, we've talked to them. They're actually working with the county to get a proposal for the non-served addresses in the town and the county.
You guys have to do something about that, or?
No, well, this is what we can do, we can support them and tell them this is important to us.
It sounds like Ultra Fiber's taking care of it.
Well, they're getting funding through the government still. though.
Right, yeah. Right, I understand that, but it seems like they're gonna make the plans for it and everything.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. They're out there working on it, but we're trying to push them to get those funds allocated. Cause right now they're saying the funds, they're making the plans, but the
Yeah.
funds to pay for it, they said aren't there yet.
Okay. I got one other question on this aggravation thing. You say you're signing a contract for 2 more years?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that,
We did.
is this rate increase, kinda normal now? That's a 50% rate increase.
It unfortunately is.
It is?
I deal with this at work too, and we've saw rates in the last 18 months that we were actually paying about 3 cents a kilowatt hour. We're up to close to 10 now. So
Well,
it's,
I'm paying 459 now, and this is
that was the lowest,
683, that's about 50% increase.
that was the lowest rate we could get. Now, that's just one of the options right now. There's 3 options you can do. You can stay in the aggregation. You can also go and find another energy supplier, cause I think, are you with Duke or?
I don't know. I left my hearing aids at home, I can't.
Are you with Duke, Larry?
I
Duke,
can't hear
are you
you.
with Duke Energy?
Yeah, I'm with Duke.
You can get on their site and there's a list of companies you can buy power from too.
Yeah.
And you can pick one of those out and you can just buy it from them. Or you can go on Duke's rate. Now, that's gonna be the highest. Last I heard of
Right,
it,
yeah.
it's around 10 cents a kilowatt.
Yeah, it was over 10.
It's over
Pretty
10.
close.
And so
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
I'm looking for
aggregation
whatever's
program,
cheapest.
yeah, the
Like,
aggregation
right now-
program right now, I mean.
Think the aggregation now is the
is
best price?
is the
Yeah.
best plan, yeah, and that's
Okay.
why they went with it, because
Yeah.
without it, like I say, it's gonna jump up over 10 from what we were paying, so,
And I
Lock them
didn't-
in for 2 years, maybe that'll help.
yeah, and we didn't wanna lock them in for any longer, because we don't know what the market's gonna bring in 2 years, you know what I mean?
I doubt it'll go down.
Right,
Oh, no.
what they do is they base it, more or less everybody's signing a 2-year contract right now, is cause it follows the election cycle. And at the end of 2 years, nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Right.
So, everybody's signing a 2-year contract.
Well, when you sign this new contract, we're automatically enrolled, right?
Yeah, you have to
you
opt
have to,
out
yeah,
if you want.
you have to
yeah.
ask to be
Okay,
removed,
That was
yes.
one of my questions, I'm trying.
I've looked
Yeah,
into
you don't
it,
have to
Larry.
sign up for it.
I've looked into it with everybody
I think they're
being
the same
aggregation in the whole township,
Yeah.
it is a
Yeah.
cheaper rate than you try and
Well,
get.
it is last time, but
Oh.
it's probably cheaper now, I mean, even though it's an increase.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's an increase, yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Good. Road taxes. Road taxes.
Well, Trenton, I looked into the road for that neighborhood that they're gonna develop on, well, next to the cemetery.
Howe Road?
Yeah, on Howe Road. Now I guess cause he's developing one that's on, I'll say on the north side of Elk Creek, but that's gonna go back into Trenton. This one comes into Howe Road directly. And I was kinda asking at the Butler County Township Association, I said, is there anything we can do as far as, this is gonna be an exit of that neighborhood out Howe Road. And the answer I got from most people was like, no, they can connect to it, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Not that we'd wanna stop them, but it's like, well, it'd been nice if they talked to us about it.
Todd, where is that road going, do you know?
Not Brownsford, although it might be Brownsford or Cranewood. It's going in that way. Not Claire, I know that one, so I think it's Brownsford or Cranewood. It goes in the back, and they're building it, going up on top, on the Howe Road. So it's on the opposite side of Ginger Ridge, trying to, they were getting up top the hill.
Oh.
They built a bunch of houses just south of the cemetery,
Yeah.
a bunch of new ones.
Yeah.
That's where it's, I think that neighborhood is gonna wrap around and go up to housing. And then, when we talked about the taxes, I was looking at the evaluation, that matches the evaluation for those properties for this year. Now, next year, I would expect it to increase that
Yes.
greatly. And from what I saw, the documentation I saw, we're supposed to get 80% of that for the first 3 years. So, we'll have to see. Again, it'd been nice if they just talked to us. And it's something I was thinking, kind of ties back into the cyber stuff we were talking about. Our long-term storage for records and resolutions, how do we?
So we have a records retention schedule.
Okay. Well, I mean, but how do we keep those, cause it's, a lot of those go for 7 years.
Well, we have a records retention schedule, some of those things are permanent.
Right.
Some of our documents are permanent, our minutes are permanent, our cemetery deeds are permanent, there's different schedules. We have all the different records, and the schedule of the length of time that we keep them is dependent on what kind of record it is. So we have schedules, and I can send those out to you so you can take a look at them. And so our storage solution right now is they're in the back room, and if this building burns down, they burn too. And so that's the.
That's safe.
Well, the safe has got all the cemetery records and the, old, buildup of the initial township trustees meeting at the bottom of the hill. And records of that sort. All her records and office records are at his house, they were better than that.
Now, my system backs up to 5 years, what I have this year and 5 years back, right? But now, a lot of my day-to-day records, things, receipts, bills, things like that, they don't have that long a shelf life, and I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but we can talk about it. I can bring you the record retention schedules that have been approved by the Ohio Historical Society, and we can look at that. But we're due for, I've gotta think of what the word is called, where we, destroy the records. And we do that, we take a look at the records retention schedule, and we say these records are due to be destroyed. And so it's important that we do that, and here's why. If you follow your record retention schedule and you destroy your records according to that schedule, it reduces the liability of the township, right? Because if it says you're supposed to destroy these records lawfully and keep record of that every, let's just say 4 years, okay? And you do that, fine. If you don't, then you're liable for those records. And if somebody says, I wanna see a bill that you paid to Duke Energy from 8 years ago, and I say, well, it was supposed to be destroyed, but you didn't destroy it lawfully, and you have to produce it now. So that's a liability that the township has to root through those old records. So it's important that we keep up with our record retention schedule. So, like I say, that is something that Kent and I have been talking about, and I sent him a good example of a fire retention schedule, because we didn't do that when we did it. It was in 2014 that we actually established one, because Madison Township has been established since 1810, and nobody had ever established a record retention schedule. So we established one, and we got it going, and we've had some records destruction along the way, but we're due for some.
Who's tracking the destruction? I mean, when the time frame comes up, how's that coming before the board or whatever?
Well, we would have a special meeting, and so the records commission is the trustees, the fiscal officer, and I think in the past we had members of the public who wanted to be involved, but it's an open public meeting. Anybody can be there, just like any of our rest of our meetings, and we take a look at the documents that are, for instance, here are the receipts from these years. They've already been audited, and it's 2 years past that audit time, and they're ready to be destroyed. So.
Yeah, that's the way we do it. So I was just trying
Yes.
to make sure that I knew how we were doing, so that
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So, and, here I'm the records manager, and so like I say, we're due for one of those, but I know that since Jeff's been in office, we haven't talked about those record retention schedules or anything, so before the next meeting, I'll send those out, and that way you guys have a chance to look at them and refresh your memory. And like I say, I sent some to Kent the last time, because I know he wants to get his records in order, and we have to establish a records retention schedule for him. but we have, like I said, a good example to get started with.
Well, Jeff brings up a point there, of how are we protecting what's viable at this point?
Well, and like I say, the really old records, the historic records, I guess they're in the safe, the cemetery records. The minute meeting books are in my office here, and like I say, they're not protected. There's nothing preventing us, I guess, from putting them in the safe. I'd be happy to do that. As far as the day-to-day cemetery records, I keep the certificate of death, and so I have those, and I'm required to keep those for 5 years. I've been keeping them for longer than that, and just because they have our notes on them, where the people are buried and things like that, that is additional information just for our record keeping, and if we ever have to look something up. And then the other thing is personnel files, you know, and they're kept in a locked office. But, you know, like I say, the other things that are in the storage room are mostly day-to-day business files that are going to be destroyed as part of a records retention schedule on a regular basis. But, you know, like I say, if you guys want to do something different, a fireproof, you know, a fireproof cabinet or something like that, then that's something you definitely need to think about. And that might be something too that we could get a grant for through OTARMA or something like that, who might be interested in.
I think some of the stuff we've done in the past would be just scanning it into the system. It goes into an image cabinet, and then it's held in the cloud, you know, through Amazon or something like it. It's protected to some degree.
Right, now keep in mind
And maybe
that
on your employees or something.
my computer, that my UAN stuff, all the accounting is not connected to any other computer. So my computer doesn't talk to anybody else's computer, and nobody else has access to it, and it has a very limited storage. So as far as scanning those documents and whatever, that could be something that maybe the township could do and have a record of those documents, because whatever storage you all have here at the township building, and maybe that could be archived, maybe it could be kept on the website, but then you're talking about other costs associated with storage and whatever. But as far as the work that I do as a fiscal officer, it's very limited right here, and you know, just day-to-day operations is what is on this computer. It's not set up for archival kind of record retention as far as that goes.
That's what I was wondering, because I wonder if we don't have that set up already, our Microsoft account, that we have a soft drive out there that's backed up.
And that could be,
That we could do
but I
that.
don't know.
But I think that'd be something we talk to, keep on.
I've seen some of the stuff in there that shows backup, that, when I pull stuff up, some of it don't come up. They would have to come in and go through it with me or us.
Well, maybe we can just talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because SharePoint is on Microsoft, and that is all backed up through the Microsoft platform. So there may be something SharePoint where you know, the trustees would have access to whatever, versus having to be searching through paper or catalog or whatnot.
So can I go left to center just a second? You're the only one that has access to that. I'm used to department heads having access to that to manage their budget. Is there a reason we don't do that?
We never have. So as far as managing their budget, they get the same end of the month reports like you all get, like the trustees get. So they manage their budget that way. As far as, you know, they know how they get a report every month to see what they've spent out of their budget, line item for line item. So no, they don't. They've never had access to any more than their end of the month reports.
Is there a value to the department heads? I mean, I've always found it valuable as a department head to be able to get into UAN and see it daily. Especially when I got a bill coming in, and like, what account am I gonna take that out of? And I think it's just a licensing issue where we buy some more license. Would the department heads want access to the UAN, to see your budget every day? So you know where your budget's at, what's going on, what line item you wanna pull something from? It's just what I'm used to. I'm trying to answer the question. I get the once a month thing, but it was valuable to me to see it every day as I paid bills and went through stuff. So
It's I mean, totally up to you guys. At the village in Farmersville, where I'm also the fiscal officer, and during that transition, when I was training the new girl, she and I had shared access, and we could both do transactions during that time. And now, you know, as I have stepped away from that position, I can go in there and check on things. And there's different licenses you can give, like to only look, or to make changes, or to, you know, you can do different things. And they bought a different laptop, and then had UAN set it up so that I could work with it. So if that's what you guys wanna do, I can help facilitate that, but it's up to you guys.
Does that benefit you guys?
As long as I got educated on it, pretty good.
Well, it's kind of read-only.
Yeah, okay.
And you can, when you open it up, you can go through and check the boxes that are fire, or you can go and check the boxes that are road, and then it'll give you what she gives us every month. But you can see that daily, and then you don't have to wait till the next month to see, once she pays bills, what your account look like now. You gotta wait till the next month to see that. I'm just throwing it out there because it was always valuable for me to see that every day, and plot and plan where I was pulling stuff from, so.
One thing we do, Mr. Terrell, I'm kinda gotten used to what we do, so I'm in my twilight, but I got.
And I as well, so.
But one thing we have done to kinda, so I've got a series of stamps, and so when we purchase things, the guys, we do for the fire, whatever it is, then I stamp it general, if it's township related, if it's fire, cemetery, road. So I stamp all these invoices that, you know, that we do
And the line
different things
items
for,
are
and
up
then
to me.
I know where it's going, that tells her where to put it. So for me, our budget's pretty solid, and I know where we're at, and it has been for some time. So for me to know those small expenditures throughout the month, it's probably not important for me. But I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But you're on a little bigger, I think you're on a little higher level.
Well,
hard
but
where
you
you're
know,
at.
she'll pay her bill out of this tonight, and your account will change,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's correct.
And you won't know what that balance is until next month.
That's correct.
So if you're getting close to some line item somewhere, you may need to move some money or whatever, and come to us and, you know, and ask for some supplemental or movement or whatever. That, it may have some value. I'm just very used to that, if it's something that you guys would be interested in.
The thing is,
Sounds interesting.
the difference in here is, I would be the one who would be coming to you with a supplemental, probably not them. For instance, at the next meeting, I will be coming to you for a supplemental because of all the culvert work that they've done. Todd's out of money in his culvert line. So, because of all the culvert and the price of, aggregate material and all of that
Whatever.
is
Yeah, whatever it is.
through the roof.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he had 6,000 and he's just about through that, and so I'm gonna ask for an appropriation, increase for him of 4,000 to get him through the rest of the year, because he's been doing all that in preparation for the rest of the year. So, like you say, it's different sizes of organizations, but
Yeah,
usually I
don't wanna
manage.
reinvent the wheel, but the person who
I don't think
manages-
it's a bad idea
the
though, for
person who
somebody
manages
coming
to it,
in.
I mean, even the trustees will have access to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to compare organizations, but I just I've always found it valuable to be able to open it up every day and look and see where any department's at as a trustee, or a department head, in that way. So I don't know if you guys have any interest or not, I'm just throwing it up for discussion.
I think we could look at, let's see what the cost is. If nothing else, see what the cost, is that something you can find out, or is that something we, contact?
Well, I can ask UAN how they do that. Like I say, I didn't set it up at the village. The young lady who took my place set it up, and they just handed me a computer and was like, now whenever you need to help Kelly, she'll call you, and you gotta log on there with her, and, you know, at least we could look at the same screen at the same time. When she had a question, I could log on there and I could see what she was doing and be able to, you know, talk on the phone with her like I was sitting next to her. That's how we used it.
I think we're just paying for like 6 extra licenses, what it is, where you can get into it, so.
Yeah, and they, you know, it's just a little icon on your screen that you click on and you can log in.
I was hoping it would be another PC, that's one.
I hope not either, yeah, I think it's just an icon.
I think it's a good idea, honestly,
Yeah.
We can look
for
into
someone,
it
I think
and
it's a
see-
good idea.
see
Okay,
what it costs.
I can talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
We discussed playground equipment, park meeting, May 20th. Any,
And who else gonna be at that meeting?
We're inviting we're inviting the public really. We did talk to the people who gave us letters for the Butler County Commissioner meeting. We invited all them, but really we're open up to the public to say.
So, is it a meeting of the trustees?
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the website and put it on the, Facebook page.
That says the 10th.
That says the
It
10th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
20th.
I'm sorry.
Okay, cause I'm not able to attend that meeting, so just be sure that somebody takes some minutes. I noticed the same thing, I was like, I'm really
That's this
confused, what
Saturday.
day is it right now?
My kid's birthday's tomorrow, so I know what today's date is.
Jeff, you
Yeah.
mentioned park board, earlier when you started to talk. Can you go, what?
Well, it's just a group that we're trying to work on the park. We're trying to, we've made a pitch to the, county commissioners asking for $750,000 from their ARPA funds. They were supportive, but did not tell us that when they were gonna have the next distribution. So we're hopeful we're gonna get some money from that. We're trying to get a good plan as far as things we wanna improve in the park, changes they wanna make. And we're trying to make sure we get everybody's input into it, 'cause we don't wanna make a decision and, that somebody else had a plan or something else is not thought of, so we're trying to get input from that.
at one time, we were working on that before COVID.
Yeah.
We had stakeholders, soccer, NYA football, even baseball, they were interested in it. And we were working on that, and COVID hit, and it just went to the, everybody just forgot about it. Like everything else, when COVID hit, everybody forgot about it.
All the sports groups were just survived.
Yeah.
Right.
So, now we're on the other side, and it's like, okay, let's see what motion we can.
Yeah, at that time, the school, or whoever was in charge of the school at that time, there was discussions of moving, the baseball, softball out of there. And we said, I was looking for the plans, I usually carry those around with me that they had drawn up and everything, where we're gonna put if there's some issues with that, we don't have enough parking, there's no way we have enough parking. I mean, that's a huge thing. I mean, if you come up here for, just for the small soccer that they have up here, I mean, there's people in every parking place and they're parking in the grass.
Pee-wee football on one
Oh, yeah,
side,
there are.
soccer
I
on
mean,
the other
it's-
side.
we don't have enough
softball
parking
going.
for the little, what we have up here, with soccer and pee-wee football. And then I noticed there was a baseball team over there practicing. I usually try to drive through there, see what's going on during the weekend. There was a baseball team over there practicing on the field. They've already worked on, I think they moved in some dirt.
Yep,
They Todd, to work on the field so they could use it, and
They haven't asked us about the storage unit yet, have they?
Not yet.
They usually get a storage unit, they're in the
Yeah.
storage unit, but.
Container or something in there.
yeah, no.
Or one.
It's been one, but I think there's gonna be 2 requested this year.
But, we've talked about permanent restrooms, concession stands, something like that, but if, and again, I always bring this up, I mean, if we're gonna expand the use of that facility, we need more parking.
And we do have 2 acres over there.
Yeah, I know, we'll have to look at
We'll have
that.
to decide.
How are we gonna do that, and how, we're gonna pay for that too. I mean, there you go. If, the money that Jeff went and asked, I mean, him and Thomas, I think, who else was, we had letters from all the stakeholders, I think. And,
David, can't think of his last name. He went to payroll with us also.
yeah, so, I mean, if we get that, well, that'll get us going on our way, because we cannot, right now, the way we are, we can't afford to put in parking or anything else like that. So,
That's where we're hoping that one grant, if we can get that USDA grant, it's for World Communities Development. And we'll ask for the max to see what we can get. Anything we get would be great.
Okay.
Last thing we have is that you're talking about the state of the township. I think I sent a draft to you guys. I was gonna see if you had any comments on it.
No, I think it's spot on myself. That was a good idea.
And what this is a message we put out on our, our Facebook site and our webpage, just to say where we feel as a township we are, some priorities, so people have an idea of what we're looking for. Because there's been a lot of suggestions of things we should do, can do. This is just a little brief snippet to give people an idea of what we're thinking about. There's a second page to it all. Everybody an idea of it. There's a roads and cemeteries. My squad and such.
That's good to put out there, cause everybody else says stuff they don't know and never do.
Yes.
And I don't respond because I don't wanna.
No, I don't
Back
either.
and forth.
The, one thing I said, I'm not gonna get in an argument or Facebook with somebody on this, cause you don't win those arguments and it just causes stir, so.
And you're gonna publish this on?
On our Facebook site and on our, put it added to our website.
Okay. All right, let's go to item 10, executive session according to ORC 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee. Roll call, please.
Mr. Willoughby? Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We won't be doing any business afterwards.
Oh, goodness, I'm gonna try to mow some grass.
Had 45 already.
I didn't mind
Like a
today.
write-up chair. Yeah, I didn't get a lot left.
Every house.
Have a good rest of your week.
Oh, I got that,
Yeah, we've got, we're doing
Acre
Cumberland.
field next to
We'll
me.
switch to about 12
That's
acres.
right.
Cumberland.
Around the house,
Especially what it's